Good morning, students. I am Priya, Assistant Professor in AKGEC in IT department. We are going to discuss Java programming concept, object-oriented programming concept with Java. So, in these, the topics we are going to cover classes, object, constructor, polymorphism, abstraction. So, in Java programming, we are going to discuss about the classes and object, how the classes and object are created, the constructor and the polymorphism, abstraction. These are the concept of object-oriented programming which we discuss in today's session. So, discussing about classes. What is classes in the Java environment? Java is basically an object-oriented programming language which is going to use the concept of classes. That is, the class is just like a blueprint which is going to create an object initialization. Everything in Java is associated with classes and objects along with its attributes and methods. Suppose in a classes, we are going to describe the attributes, the method present for a particular class. Suppose a class we have assigned, here in this example, we have assigned a class that is car, which have some attributes like weight and color and methods such as drive and brake. It means that a method will be consisting of some mechanism that will be used to initialize something. That is, drive and brake is the mechanism, how it is going to control and how it is going to use in the particular class. So, that is class we are going to initialize the object, and that is going to be how you are going to assign the object and classes in your Java programming environment. Next, we are discussing about how to create a class. Suppose in a class we are putting a value, that is class main. We have given a class main in which we are assigning a value for the variable x, that is of the integer type, and we are assigning 5 values. Suppose in this we are going to create an object for this class. Creating an object called, suppose we have assigning a class main. The class name should be same as the file name. So, whenever you are going to store and save your class, it must be in the same name as that of the file name. So, we have assigned this name of the class as main. It means that your file should be saved with the main.java. So, that will be creating an object. In Java, an object is created from a class. To create an object of class, you have to use a new keyword. In new keyword, it means that it will be specifying some memory values in your system. It means that suppose you are creating a value, that is you are in a class, you are putting a value integer x5. It means that it will be going to be assigned a value of variable x, which is in taking a memory space of some integer type, return type will be there, and that will be taking the value in a memory address that will be assigning with a value of 5. And for creating an object, you are using this particular object that is going to be used here. Means if we are using here, that is main is our class name, that is going to utilize my object is going to be that will be the thing that you are going to object initialization. With this new keyword, you are going to assigning a memory space. In the memory space, when we discuss about the memory space, it means the new keyword is giving the address of for this particular value. That address is going to assign the value for this object initialization. Okay. So, when we discuss about object initialization, it means that it is going to discuss my object will be created, that will be creating an space for the my object, particular object creation initialization will be done here. Okay. So, system.out.println, this is the way you are going to print your output in Java programming. The my object.x, it means that it is going to assigning a value of x. In this, by initialization of the object, you are after initialization of the object, you are accessing these variable. You are able to access these variable. You are able to access these variable with the help of the object creation. Okay. So, that is the way you in a class that you have created an object, and after object creation you are initializing, and after initialization you are obtaining accessing the values. Okay. So, accessing the values of particular in a class, the value which you have assigned in a class, that will be accessed with the help of this particular my object.x. It means dot will be the operator where you can access all of these variables. Okay. So, for creating multiple objects, so in this particular public class main, we have seen that how the objects are created. Okay. And later on the multiple objects, you can create a multiple object in a class, that is list of create two objects of class main. Suppose we have given an object of class which are in a multiple way. Now in this particular class we have assigning a variable of int x5, and we have created two objects, object 1 and object 2. In these the object creation with the new keyword, we have initialized my object 1 and my object 2. It means that whatever the value you are putting inside my object 1 dot x, it will be accessing these value of your variable present in your main class. So that will be accessing these value from object 1 and object 2. Now multiple classes you can create. We have seen that multiple objects can be created and multiple classes can also be created in a Java program. Whenever you are creating an Java program, you can also create an object of a class and access it in another class. This is often used for better organization of a class. It means that whenever you want to give some attributes and method values to some other classes, you can create that with the help of the inheritance. So while the other class hold the main method, the code to be executed, it means that suppose we have created a class main, and suppose next class which we have created a class second, in which we are using the main class object. Okay, so in this example we are creating an class second, and public static void main we have, this is the initialization way, and after doing this the object is created for the main class, and my object dot x will be assigning the values of your particular main class object initialization. So suppose in this particular example we have seen that multiple classes are created in a single program, and your program is going to execute the particular public, whatever you are storing in your program, that will, if you have assigned a public specifier in your main class, that will be your class which is going to be executed. It means that if number of classes are present in your program, then which is going to be compiled, the compilation class will be your, which is assigning the access modifier is public here. Okay. So talking about the modify attribute, suppose we want to change that particular modifier we have assigned here. Now we are saying that in this particular example we have assigned some values here. Suppose we have assigned a value for this x40, okay, and we are accessing these myObject.x, we are obtaining this value 40. Now we want to change this particular value for this and want to modify these attribute values. So that was it. Suppose we are changing the or we are overriding existing value. In the starting point of this, we have initialized the values of the int x is given in your main class, okay, and next on we have changed this value when at the time of after initialization of the object, when we are accessing this object, we are assigning the value 25. Now it is what? It is overriding concept, that the particular variable value is going to be override here, and the system.out.println will be taking out the values which is overridden by this side. So the final output is be the 25. You are obtaining the 25 output. Okay. Now when we talk about if we have changed these value, the overriding existing value, that is declare the attribute up. Suppose we don't want to change that value, the initialization value we don't want to change. At that time we need the concept of the final keyword. Final keyword is a keyword which is used to declare the particular variables to be in a final state. Mean you can't override these final values. Suppose in this particular example we have assigned public class main, in which we have putting the variable in text stand, and we have assigning a keyword final. It means that final keyword is going to be, it happens that whenever if you are overriding this particular value, it's not going to be override. So later on we have initialize an object, and after initialization we are obtaining the values my object.x25. It will generate an error because the concept of overriding will not work here because the final keyword is presented here. So system.out.println my object.x is going to be execute only the value of that particular x value is going to be executed 10. So talking about the multiple objects, suppose we have created in a class, we are initializing an object. The concept of multiple object of a class, you can change the attribute value in one object without affecting the attribute values in the other. In this example we have taken a values 5 in this, and the object creation is taken my object 1 and my object 2. Okay, and later on we have changed the value for the my object 2.x. We have assigning value 25. It means that we are obtaining different output for the different object. Okay, now for object 1 it is going to be assigning value 5, and for object 2 that we have assigned the value 25. It means that the value is assigned here without affecting the attribute value of the other. Means we have changed the value for the object my object 2, that is the object creation of the in the same class. Okay, in the same class we are obtaining multiple objects. Okay, so this is the way how you are going to create multiple objects without changing the attribute in the other, that will not going to affect the attribute of the other class. Okay, so talking about the Java class method, now till now we have discussed about the classes and object, and in the particular objects we have discussed about how to discuss the, that is variable, how we can achieve multiple objects creation. So Java methods are declared within a class and they are used to perform certain action. Example, create a method name, my method in name. Suppose we have created a class in which we are providing a method, void my method. Okay, then later on we have given a printout in this hello world. So this particular method is called with this my method way. Okay, the method will be generating the output of it. It means that particular value will be generated whenever you are going to call this method. It is going to use that particular my method will be going to. So when we are calling the values my method, it is going to taking the values from this method we have declared. Okay, so after declaration of it, we are obtaining the system.out.println hello world. So output we are receiving is hello world. Okay, so till now we have discussed that class methods are that which we can initialize something. Okay, so static versus public keyword. Suppose in a class we are obtaining the access modifier public, and which can be attributing some methods and attribute and method. In an example we have, in the previous example we have created a static method, which means that it can be accessed without creating an object of the class, unlike public which can only be accessed by object. In this example we have discussed that static method we have declared, and this can be directly achieve the values of it without creating an object of it. Okay, now at this time, at this moment we have seen this example, my method is going to take this value without directly initializing of the objects creation. Okay, so that will be the concept, that whenever you are using this static keyword, it means that it is going to be work with the help of without creating of an object initialization. Okay, so that will be the thing. Static will be the example we have seen, that is static method, which means that it can be accessed without creating an object of the class, unlike public which can only be accessed by the object. Whenever you are going to declare something public, and that will be accessed by the object creation. Okay, so in this class we have seen that particular example is showing that some example that will be consisting of the static method and the public method. Okay, so static method we have given, suppose a static method will be the static void my static method, and the public method we have declared is my public method. So in the main method we are going to access this static particular method without creating the object. So directly we are calling the static method and we are obtaining the result. Okay, and for that is for taking the values of the public method, we have created an object, and after object creation we are initializing the values of the objects. Okay, so that is my object, my public method will be created there. Okay, so that will be achieving by in a two way, that is static and the public. Okay, now we are saying that the public method is directly we are obtaining. Okay, at this stage the public method static will be going to be accessed directly without creating the object. The static method is you are calling this method without creation of the object, and later on you are calling this public method with the help of this particular object. Okay, so object we have created with this particular new keyword, and after initialization of this object, my object dot, you are calling this method. Okay, so to access this public method you are creating an object, and for to access this particular static method there is no need to create an object, you can directly access these methods. So this is the way you can work with your static and your particular public keyword. Okay, so access method with an object. Suppose you are creating an object and that will be consisting of in a class you are creating a in this example they have shown that the number of methods will be present, void speed will be there, void full throttle will be there, and in main you are calling the you are initializing an object. In main you are creating an object creationalization, that is my car, and after that you are accessing these value of full throttle and speed. So that will be the output you are receiving, that according to the object creation. Now talking about using multiple classes. In a multiple class, suppose you have taken a main class in which you have throttle, full throttle method will be presented, and next on the speed method will be presented. Now they have given the concept that in a multiple classes, suppose in the next class you are going to receive these value and you are going to create an object for it. The object for the main class will be created here. In that particular, my car is created for this main class. Okay, so that will be the way you are going to achieve, that is calling the values of the methods. Okay, my car will be achieving, that will be object of this particular main class. Okay, so main will be achieving these the methods calling values, that is full throttle and speed. You are obtaining the values of these two that will be accessing these, called the full throttle method and called the speed method. This is the way how you are working on the multiple classes. So next topic is, we are discussing about the Java constructor. Java constructor is something which is very special method that is used to initialize object. The constructor is called when an object of a class is created. Whenever you create an object, the constructor is going to be initialized by default. So that is the way, if you are creating in something, the object is at the time create an object of the class main, at that moment the constructor is automatically called and the super keyword will be assigned with that. So in this example they have assigned a creating a constructor. Okay, in this main they have assigning a class attribute, creating a class constructor for the main class. The constructor will have some definition that the constructor should be of the same as of the class name. Okay, that will be the first condition, and later on the condition is that it does not contain any return type. The constructor does not have any return type. It means that the return type will not be there. The name of the constructor will be same as of the class name, and that will be consisting of the access modifier, that will be maybe public and protected and default. So that is the way that you are calling this particular public main, that is the constructor you have given. Now that is the set the initial value for the class attribute x5 you have assigned here, and now you are creating an object, and finally you are accessing the values of the object with the help of this particular object initialization. Okay, so the constructor is going to be name must match the points will be that the constructor name must match the class name and it cannot have a return type. Also note that a constructor is called when the object is created. All constructor have constructors by default. All classes have constructor by default. Okay, so whenever you are going to initialize an object, the constructor is automatically created. The constructor parameter, it may be the assigned values will be there. Maybe the constructor will be of no argument. It will be consisting of parameters as well. So talking about it, that will be consisting of the parameter, and maybe it will not contain a parameter. Suppose we have created a constructor in which we have assigned a value parameter int y. So that it means that if you are assigning this value, you are further on taking the value assigned here x is equals to y. It means that whenever you are passing this value in your object initialization step, the my object value will be assigning this y value to this particular x, and finally this x value is assigned on this y. So that will be obtaining the output y. Whenever you are after initialization of this my object new main 5, it means that these value is assigned in this particular 5 value is going to be assigned here for this int y. Okay, so that will be assigning this value, and after getting this you are obtaining system.x. My object.x is accessing this value of this. You are obtaining the values of this particular as 5. So you are obtaining my object.x is, you are obtaining 5 value. Okay, so this is the way you are working with the parameterized constructor. Now talking about the parameterized constructor in a way that consisting of the two arguments. Suppose you have given here in this example, you have assigned value int year and a string name, and that will be assigning this value after creation of an object my car. You are assigning the year and you are passing these two values. So at that moment you are passing the values, you have assigned the year and you are passing a string value here.
Okay, that will be going to be assigned, particularly assigned with this constructor value, and you are assigning this particular string value with this string name. Okay, after receiving these value, this year is assigned with model year and this particular name is assigned with model name. And at the time of you are calling these value, you are obtaining system.out.println. That will be your dot with the help of this particular dot operator, you are obtaining these values. Okay, so this is the way how parameterized constructor will be used. Okay, we have talked about the single argument, and now it is a that will be, we are passing the number of arguments here. Okay, so that will be achieving output. The name of your model name will be assigned here. Okay, now talking about the next topic, that is Java packages and API. In a package in Java is used to group related classes. Suppose in a Java program, you have created a number of classes which can be helpful for the in other program also, that it need to be in a single package. Okay, so package is going to be consisting of a similar related classes. So it is just like a folder in a file directory. We use a package to avoid name conflict and to write a better maintainable code. Whenever you are writing a similar type of classes in a program, you are going to construct a package for it, and that will be your, maybe you are going to assign, there is a category for it, that is built-in package and user-defined package. Some packages are going to be given by the Java APIs, that is your Java application program interface, and that is going in the category of the built-in packages. And user-defined packages are created by the user, that will be given by the developer. Okay. So talking about the modifier, that is public, private, default, protective. Whenever you are assigning the values in a particular program, you are putting the value. If you are not given that particular value is going to be which access modifier, then by default it is taking the value of the public. So the code is, the public modifier means the code is accessible for all classes. Now next one is the private. The code is only accessible within the declared class. Whenever you are declaring the private, it means that the code is accessed only within a class. This is for your security purpose, that whatever the value you are assigning here should be kept in a secure way, that no one is going to be accessed outside of the, within, that is the values are accessible within the declared class. So that will be the important thing, that to hide or to secure something, that need to be kept in a private access modifier. Default, the code is only accessible in the same package. Okay, so the code is the values can be accessed within the same package. This is used when you don't specify a modifier. You will learn that is in a packages in the package chapter. Okay, protected is a modifier. The code is accessible in the same package and the same and particular subclasses. Okay, that is the particular protected, private and keywords modifier. Keywords will be used here. Okay, talking about the Java inheritance. Inheritance is one of the concept in Java object oriented programming language, which will be using the concept of the subclass and superclass. Inheritance, which basically means that the particular child class will be inheriting the property of the parent class. It means that whatever the properties present in the parent class will be inherited in the child class. Okay, so if we are saying that the properties of the, there is a class A parent class and there is a class B, which is the, if we are saying this one A is the parent class and this one B is the child class, it means that whatever the properties we are obtaining in the B is from the parent class A. The B will consisting of its own property, it will be consisting of own properties as well as it will be consisting of class A property. Okay, so the concept of inheritance will be working here, that you can access the properties in Java, that is you can inherit attributes and method from one class to another. We group the inheritance concept into two categories, that is subclass and the superclass. The subclass will be your child class. This particular B class is known as the subclass, and the A1 is going to be your parent class. The class being inherited from two and which is going to be inherit from a class, use the extends keyword. Okay, we can see that inheritance is going to be work with a keyword, that is extend keyword. And in the now we are quoting an example here, that is going to be use the vehicle. We suppose we have created in class vehicle, in which we are putting the values protected modifier we are using and the public modifier we are using. Method we have given a honk, and the particular protected variables will be provided here with the string values brand, that is we have assigned here. Okay, suppose this class car will be extended here with vehicle. It means that inheritance concept works with this particular keyword. So extend is a keyword that is going to be work whenever you are want to inherit some class. Okay, so this extend keyword, it means that it is going to extend your inherit your vehicle class. All of the properties present in this particular class, whatever the values, whatever the methods present in this particular class is going to be inherited in your subclass. So after creating this class vehicle, we have extended it and we have inherited the class car, and which will be consisting of all of the properties of the vehicle class. Now we are putting the values here that we have assigned a private string model name, and we are assigning that we have initializing an object car my car. Okay, so after creation of this object, we are obtaining the methods, we are using this calling these method, that is mycar.honk, that will be achieving the values of the method present in your vehicle class. It means that the values of this particular honk is going to be with the help of the inheritance, you are obtaining the values from the vehicle class. Okay, so that will be achieving the particular values, and later on we have given this particular brand name with the help of this particular inheritance concept. So how this is the way how the inheritance is going to be work. Okay, now using the super keyword in Java. The super keyword in Java is a reference variable which is used to refer immediate parent class object. Whenever you are creating a subclass, the parent class will be creating using this concept of the super keyword. Super can be used to refer immediate parent class instance variable. Super can be used to invoke immediate parent class method, and it is can be used to invoke immediate parent class constructor. So these are the point that we can discuss, that super keyword is a going to be cover immediate parent class constructor class methods and parent class instance variable. Okay, so later on this one is the thing we have discussed till now, and in the next session we will cover the concept of the data abstraction, how the object oriented programming will be using the concept of the abstraction and polymorphism and other things. Okay, till now, thank you and goodbye.